I'm a firm believer that speeding up auditions equals more auditions equals more jobs. And this efficiency means more money per hour of auditioning. I'm William Williams, and this is Voice-Over Virtuosity from Aliso Creek voiceover classes. When I read an audition, there's often a sentence or two that I pick up, so there's usually some quick editing involved in creating the final audition. I also like to clean up the beginning and the end with silence. So no rattling paper sound or me mumbling, "Man, this copy really sucks." But then the question arises, should I take out the breaths? The answer is no, and yes. Let's look at jobs first. There are two types of files you might submit if you're recording a job. The first type is raw files. These are files exactly as you recorded them, with no edits. You ship everything you created off to the client and let them sort through it to pick out the best takes, clean up breaths, mouth noises, etc. A request for these types of files is usually made if the client has directed the session using a phone patch. You do various takes until the client is happy, and then you send it all so they can sort through it and pick out the best of the best. Obviously, you don't need to worry about breaths in these files. Now, the other type of job requires finished, edited files. These are far more common. When the client wants finished files, you sort through the takes and create one composite file of the performance. And then you eliminate breaths, lip smacks, long pauses, to create a file that flows naturally and can be used as is. I have found that if I don't take out the breaths in the finished file, the client will use it as is, and the breaths will be in the final performance. Yuck. So I always take the breaths out in finished jobs. Now consider auditions. The problem with extensive editing is that it requires extensive time. It can take 4 to 5 times the length of an audition to edit it. If you can read it in 3 minutes, it might take 15 minutes to clean it up. And this is time that would be better spent on the next audition. And that way, you can do 4 times the number of auditions in the same amount of time. Online casting clients, like those on Voices and Voice 123, may only listen to 8 seconds of your read to decide whether they like or don't like what you do. I doubt you'll breathe in the first 8 seconds. If they listen further, they're already interested in your performance, so the breaths probably won't matter. So I don't waste my time editing breaths from auditions. Of course, there are always some exceptions to this rule. First is initial breaths. I clean the space before the first word of the audition, so I don't have a giant sucking sound before the audition begins. And also maybe the first couple of breaths in an audition. What about long phrases in business copy? It is possible to have very long sentences where you have to arbitrarily decide where to breathe in the middle of a sentence. A big fat breath can disturb the flow of these sentences, so I might take that breath out and tuck it together a bit. Finally, high-end auditions. I'll spend more time creating auditions for high-end jobs that pay $1,000 and up. On these, I think you have an edge if you give the client a polished, finished example of what the end product will sound like. Also, very short reads. If I'm reading a slogan with just a handful of words, I'll do 2 things. First, I'll do wild spots. That is, 3 reads of the slogan with each read different. And I'll take out all the breaths. Because this is so short, it won't take much time. Never take out emotional breaths. We often use our breathing to express emotion with sighs of sadness or gasps of astonishment. These are part of the performance, so leave them in and breathe quietly. Don't abuse the privilege. Learn to breathe quietly. Breathe through your mouth and quickly. Quiet breaths are like no breaths at all. In the end, you want to win the numbers game, and auditioning is a numbers game. If you have limited time to audition, you want to pump out as many auditions as you can in that time. Spend your time on creating a quality performance that enhances the meaning of the copy. Remember, more auditions equals more jobs. If you like this video, subscribe to my channel and click the bell to receive notifications when new videos come out. And for more information on all things voiceover, visit AlisoCreek.net. I'm William Williams, reminding you, keep talking.